Hello, this is Keenan Park, and this is Wylock 7th grade worksheet lesson 8. For our first problem, we have a bicycle priced at $250 and it's now $225. So what is the percentage markdown? So in this case, we want to find how much did it decrease in price. Well, 250 minus 225 gives us $25. So it decreased by $25, but we want to find the percentage markdown. So to do this, we put the 25 and we divide it by the original price. The original price is $250. When you do this division, you'll get 0.1, which is 10%. So your answer should be 10%. An easy way to see this is 10% is 25 over 250. You can divide 25 on the top and the bottom, or they cancel out, which will give you 1 over 10, and this is 10%. You can pretty easily see. If you can't see, you can multiply the top and the bottom by 10, and you get 10 over 100, and 100 is the definition of a percent, being over 100, so that's just 10%. All different ways to do the same thing. And then next we're going to solve for x. So we have 5x minus 10 is equal to 505x minus 10. And 505x minus 10 is equal to 50. Sorry, I'm just going to skip this problem because I'm not entirely sure what it means. And then a laptop's retail price was marked up by 15%, and now the selling price is $460. What was the original wholesale price? So in this case, we have an original price we don't know. I'm just going to call it P. Oops. And then P is equal to, the marked up price is plus 15%. So that's 1, which is 100%, plus 15%, so 1.15. And, the 1.15 should be on the other, next to the P. So 1.15 times the original price, P, is equal to $460. And to solve for P, we just divide by 1.15 on both sides. So we get 460 over 1.15. And then you can just do long division. So how many times does 115 go into 450? It goes 4 times exactly. And then so you get that for 1.15, this should be equal to 400. So we know that our original price is 400. And then here we have a bouquet that contains 4 daisies for every 5 lilies, and the total number of flowers in all is 270. So for every 4 daisies, there's 5 lilies, which means that, like, for every 9 flowers, there are 4 daisies and 5 lilies. So if we want to find how many lilies there are, and the total number of flowers is 270, we can divide 270 by 9 to see how many groups of 9 we have. That'll give us 30. So we have 30 groups of 9, and in each group of 9 we have 5 lilies. So 30 times 5, well, that is equal to 150. And then moving on to our next problem, we have the P is 3 to 4, or 3 over 4, and Q is 8 over 7. So what is P to Q? Okay. This is not actually how ratios work. But P, let's just change this problem a little bit. So this is x to y is equal to 3 to 4. And instead of Q, let's just say it's y to z is equal to 8 to 7. And then we can find what is x to y to z. X to y to z. And so x to y to z, well, for these two equations, they both have a y in them. So we want to combine them in that way. but this y corresponds to this 4, while this y corresponds to this 8, so we can't combine them yet. What we can do is we can multiply the 3 and the 4 by 2, so that'll give us 6 to 8. So x to y is equal to 6 to 8. And since it's a ratio, multiplying on both sides of the ratio does not matter. And then now this 8 is equal to that 8, so we can combine x to y to z is 62827, which is B. Sarah deposits $500 into a saving account that earns 5% interest compounded annually. How much money will Sarah have after 2 years? So compounded annually means each year we multiply by 1.05, because that's 5% increase. So you have 500 times 1.05, and then another year passes, so that's times another 1.05. Or in other words, 500 times 1.05 to the power of 2. And so if you solve for this, to the power of 1, this part over here is 525, and if you multiply by another 1.05, or add another 5%, you'll get, let's see, 525 times 1.05. Let's multiply that out. So you have 5231, and then 00525526555. So you get 556.25, I believe. Which is none of these answer choices. Let's see if I made a mistake somewhere. Oh, this should be 2 and 6. Oops. Yeah. So then this should be 52155. So 55125 should be this one, C. And then we have the balance in Jenna's bank statement is negative $45. So she's $45 in debt. And how much money does she need to deposit to bring it back to 0? Well, if she's $45 in debt, that means she needs to add $45 to get back to just $0. So it's 45. And then here are just a bunch of sums of decimals or fractions. These should be pretty easy, so I'll just choose one that looks interesting. This one here, we're adding together two different mixed fractions. One of them is negative, and their denominators are different. So this seems like an interesting problem. First, let's convert these mixed fractions to improper fractions, because those tend to be easier to work with. 7 1/4 is equal to 7 times 4 plus 1 over 4. And 3 1/3 is equal to 3 times 3 plus 1 all over 3. So this gives us 29 over 4 plus, in the parentheses, negative 10 over 3. And in this parentheses, negative 10 over 3 is the same as just having minus 10 over 3. And now, let me write it in pink so we don't get confused. We want to convert this into, we want them to have the same denominator. So we multiply the left one by 3 on the top and the bottom, and the right one by 4 on the top and the bottom. So the denominators will both be 12. So this new one, I'll write it over here. Sorry if it's a little all over the place. Will be, what's 29 times 3? It's 87. What's 10 times 4? That's 40. And so you get 87 minus 40 all over 12. So that would be 47 over 12. And that should be your final answer. Alright, I think that's all for today. Thank you for listening. And goodbye.